Hey guys, today I am filming a video on me using the Huion l4s lightpad, which is a new lightpad I got recently, and I just wanted to test it out and show you guys how it worked and just kind of walk you through the process of one of my art pieces when I'm trying to use a lightpad. This is also a fun challenge for me to see how many times I can say lightpad in a sentence, I guess. Okay, so just to kind of get started and tell you a little bit about the lightpad, it is well, like I said, it's a Huion L46 lightpad, and it fits, it's got about a 12 by 8 inch workspace. I'm using a 10 by 12 inch paper here, and it worked pretty well for me. Like, it goes off the sides a little bit, but you can kind of move it around pretty easily and not have a problem with that. It has adjustable light brightness. You just hold down on the power button on the side to kind of adjust the brightness, and it'll go up and down, and it remembers your brightness from the last time you used it if you just want to turn it on and off, which I thought was pretty nice. I usually just keep it pretty bright, and it works pretty well for me. The only thing about it, I think, is that it does require being plugged in, but I don't really take my lightpad on the go. I guess some people could. I'm not really sure what you would use it for on the go, so for me it just wasn't really like a huge issue, but it's just something to be aware of, that it does need to be plugged in. So I had a pretty easy time using this. I liked it. It came with a clip, which was nice, and you could like readjust where that was, so you could clip it just to your best location, which was really nice, because on my old lightpad it just had like one stagnant clip, so you couldn't really adjust it, and I was always kind of having to work around it, so I thought that was nice. It would have been nice if the workspace was maybe a little bit bigger, but you know, I knew how big it was going to be before I bought it, and I felt like it was a good enough size, and for a decent price. I think I got this for like $30. I think it's a little more expensive now, but I think for the price point it's a pretty good bargain. This illustration of these two wolves going around the moon, and I used to do art with light boxes like all the time, but it's actually been a while since I did that, so I was a little uncertain when I started. I was very hesitant. I'm drawing this on canson, I think 120-pound cold press watercolor paper, so that's another thing that's good about the lightpad, is that it's shown through that like really thick paper pretty easily, which I thought was really nice. So that was something that I enjoyed about it. But yeah, when I first got started, I was very hesitant and with my strokes, and like I was just really afraid of messing it up. But then I got kind of back into the groove of it, and it kind of made me remember why I really like doing art this way. So this was a really nice experience. I do still kind of make a few dumb mistakes, which I'll kind of talk about as the video goes on, but overall I thought the piece turned out well at the end. I'm using, like I said, canson cold press watercolor paper, 120 pound, and I'm also using speedball India ink, just like a big container of that, which I thinned down with water, and then I'm using royal and langnickel brushes. I don't remember the exact sizes, but it's like a little like chisel one, and then like a little fine pointed one. So yeah, that's pretty much how I normally do ink traditionally. I find it like a really fun and like relaxing experience, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. So basically the problems I was kind of having with this illustration is I was sort of approaching things maybe in kind of a silly way at first. So like I was trying to use a brush that wasn't like a good size, and that made me really hesitant. And then I was trying to draw this moon, and for some reason I was like, oh, a good thing to do would be to just try and freehand this. I think I can do that. I can just freehand a circle. And like, I mean, when I sketched it, it looked pretty good, but it's different to like kind of sketch it where you can kind of just make these very careful like little strokes until it looks good, versus when you have to like actually ink it and make it very precise. So like I keep working on this circle, and it keeps just like not looking good. So I finally just like put down like a jar and trace it, and then that kind of makes it work out in the end. And after that, and once I start working on the moon, I feel like the piece starts kind of coming together. And I felt really like I was back into the groove on this. I didn't plan this piece a whole lot. I just sort of, I did a few thumbnails in my sketchbook, but I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted it to look, and then I just sketched it out and traced it. So normally when I'm doing something, I typically draw with really thick lines, but I actually have not been doing that for a while because I was thinking about how I feel like a lot of times when there's something I don't like about a drawing, I would try and cover it up with like just doing like, I don't know, like interesting lines. And I feel like when I was doing thin lines, I would always really hate how it looked. And I kind of was thinking about it. And I think one of the reasons is that when lines are thin, it's kind of like, I'm not saying that like thicker, like very light and white styles are easier to draw, because they're definitely not, but just something about thin lines is like you can't really hide any errors in the drawing and you have to be much more precise, which is something that like I'm not very good at, like precision. So I've been doing a lot of that lately, so it was kind of nice to come back to this and kind of do something like I would normally do, where I use like ink for the shadows and make like I have some line weight for like emphasis and importance. And I think I was still able to kind of take what I've been learning from those experiences with doing more thin lines here, and kind of apply them. So I think that was a really good thing to do. And I kind of just let this piece sort of take me where I wanted to go. I wasn't thinking about, for example, like the shadow, like with the moon, like the little black like circle that kind of connects the wolves. I didn't intend to include that originally, but I felt like there was something missing when I was working on it, and like the composition like didn't look very connected, or there's like a weird negative space, and I felt like adding that really helped. So that was kind of like one thing that was nice about it, is just kind of free flowing. Here, I think, is one of my favorite things about working in ink, is when you are putting down like just like wet on wet. So you just put like some water and then you put ink onto the water and it just kind of blooms and spreads out, which I always really like doing. That's one of my favorite things I think about traditional art, is that sometimes like you can't, like with digital art, like you can control it very precisely, which is great. But I think sometimes you kind of lose that nice organic feeling that can come from working traditional and doing things like this. So that was something I really enjoyed about this part. I feel like once I finished the moon and I fixed the circle and then I added all the shadows, this piece really kind of came together right at the end. So I was like happy about that, because I wasn't certain about it right until right now, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is sort of looking how I want it. So I hope you enjoyed watching me put this together. I really enjoyed making this piece. Let me know what you think of either the lightpad, if you've used it, or if you've used similar products before and you have any thoughts about that, or if you just have any thoughts about my art or the video or anything like that. I would love to hear any suggestions for videos or other things that I could maybe draw. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.